staying calm in the storms of life. This isn't just a skill, it's an art. Have you ever asked yourself, how can I keep a clear mind and steady heart when facing unforeseen challenges? When everything around you seems out of control and chaos threatens to overwhelm your thoughts, what holds you together? Stoicism teaches us that calmness is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of our inner world. It is the quiet assurance that regardless of external events, we hold the power to choose our response. This philosophy doesn't ask us to ignore hardships, but to embrace them as opportunities to grow and build resilience. As the great Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In this video, we'll explore 12 invaluable lessons drawn from the Stoic tradition. These aren't just abstract ideas, but practical tools for modern life, tested by time and experience. By the end of this journey, you'll not only gain clarity, but also the courage to navigate life's storms with purpose. Ready to transform your mindset? Hit that play button, grab a notebook, and join me in mastering the art of staying calm. Remember, change begins with a single step. This video could be yours. Let's start now. Lesson 1. Focus on what you can control. One of the most fundamental principles of Stoicism is learning to distinguish between what is within our control and what lies beyond it. This distinction, simple as it may seem, holds the power to transform our inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meditations. By focusing on what we can influence, we liberate ourselves from the futile struggle against uncontrollable externalities. Imagine being stuck in traffic on a rainy Monday morning, late for an important meeting. Frustration builds as questions like, "Why today of all days?" or "Why don't they fix these roads?" race through your mind. But here's the Stoic perspective. Neither the rain nor the traffic is within your control. Do you let anger consume you? Or do you take a deep breath, accept the delay, and focus on how to make the most of the situation? Perhaps you rehearse your talking points or listen to an inspiring audiobook. The Stoics emphasized that misplacing energy on things beyond our control only leads to unnecessary suffering. Epictetus reminds us, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Enchiridion. It is not the traffic that ruins your day, but your judgment of it. Reflect for a moment. How often have you been consumed by frustration over circumstances you couldn't change? How might your life improve if you focused instead on your actions, thoughts, and choices? This principle applies universally, whether it's dealing with an unkind remark, a missed opportunity, or even the unpredictability of life itself. By focusing on what we can control, our mindset, decisions, and actions, we become architects of our own inner peace. The world may throw storms our way, but our response remains our own. To put focus on what you can control into practice, start by identifying what's within your power. Create 2 columns, one for things you can control, your actions, mindset, and another for what you cannot, others' opinions, external events. Concentrate only on the first column. Practice mindfulness by pausing before reacting and asking yourself, what can I influence here? Use journaling to reflect on your responses to challenges and identify areas for improvement. Lastly, build resilience by taking small, deliberate actions daily, whether it's preparing better for work tasks or choosing a positive response to frustration. Over time, this habit fosters greater peace and focus. Ask yourself, are you wasting energy railing against what you cannot change? Or are you choosing to focus on what is truly yours to shape? Let this lesson guide you to greater clarity and resilience. For as Epictetus wisely said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Discourses. Lesson 2. Embrace nature. In Stoic philosophy, embracing nature does not equate to surrender. It is a profound recognition of the essence of life and the universe. It is the ability to perceive everything, whether joy or sorrow, as an inevitable part of existence, without succumbing to unnecessary mental anguish. As Epictetus wisely said, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. Enchiridion. This means we should align ourselves with the flow of nature rather than resist it. Consider this scenario. You've meticulously prepared for an important presentation, but just before starting, the projector malfunctions and you're unable to display your visuals. What can you do? You have two choices: either let anger consume you, blame the circumstances and feel out of control, or accept the situation and confidently proceed with your verbal delivery. The answer lies in your hands, and it is acceptance that holds the key to maintaining composure. Acceptance is not resignation or negligence. On the contrary, it requires patience and profound understanding of one's limitations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nature adapts the thing to the purpose it intends." Meditations. Everything happens for a reason, and every challenge presents an opportunity to grow. Ask yourself, how might my life change if I stopped resisting the unchangeable and instead learned to adapt? A real-life example is the story of Sarah, an accountant whose company had to shut down due to financial crises. Instead of dwelling in regret over her old job, Sarah accepted the circumstances and used her free time to learn new skills. Soon, she secured a new job, even better than the previous one. This demonstrates that acceptance is not about giving up, but about opening new doors for growth. So, what about you? When faced with adversity, will you choose to complain, or will you learn to accept and adapt? Let this lesson remind us that peace does not come from controlling everything, but from understanding and accepting that nature operates on its own terms, not ours. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Meditations. Stay tuned for the next lessons. Each one offers powerful insights to transform your perspective and bring lasting calm. Don't miss the practical wisdom ahead. Your journey to inner peace continues here. Lesson 3. Living in the present moment. Living in the present moment is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, reminding us that the only time we truly possess is the now. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Meditations. The awareness of life's impermanence compels us to focus on what is unfolding at this very moment, instead of being trapped by regrets of the past or worries about the future. Think about the times you were lost in thoughts of what had happened or what might occur. Have you ever missed savoring a good meal because you were anxious about a meeting the next day, or ignored a loved one's words because you were dwelling on a past mistake? These present moments are gifts we often overlook, caught in the whirlpool of time. Stoicism encourages us to devote our full attention to the present. To achieve this, here are some practical approaches. Practice gratitude. Each morning, spend a few moments reflecting on the things you have right now, no matter how small. This practice helps you recognize the value of the present and prevents unnecessary anxieties. Mindful meditation. Set aside a few minutes daily to sit quietly, focusing on your breath and your surroundings. This is an effective way to anchor yourself to the present when your mind begins to wander. Ask yourself questions. When you find yourself fixating on the past or the future, pause and ask, "Does this help me in this moment?" This question redirects your attention back to the now. Epictetus wisely noted, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Discourses. The lesson here is simple. Instead of worrying about what you cannot change, celebrate and cherish what you have in the moment. Take, for example, Anna, a young mother constantly stressed about balancing work and family. After learning to live in the present, she decided to dedicate 1 hour every evening to play with her child, undistracted by her phone or emails. She discovered that these moments brought her a sense of peace and happiness she had long lost while consumed by thoughts of the future. What about you? Are you missing out on the present moment, lost in the whirlwind of time? Let this lesson serve as a reminder that the present is all you truly have. Embracing it fully will lead you to peace and meaning. Lesson 4. Viewing challenges as opportunities. In Stoic philosophy, challenges are not obstacles but opportunities to strengthen the spirit, grow personally, and discover inner strength. As Epictetus wisely said, "Difficulties show a person's character. Therefore, when a challenge arises, remember that it is opportunity given by nature." Discourses. These words carry not only philosophical meaning, but also practical value in helping us face adversity with calm and clarity. Imagine you've just been passed over for a promotion you had meticulously prepared for. Disappointment is natural, but how will you respond? You could choose to complain, assign blame, or lose motivation. However, in the Stoic spirit, this is an opportunity to ask yourself, what can I improve? How can I better prepare for next time? These questions not only help you move past the setback, but also turn the challenge into a catalyst for self-improvement. The key to transforming obstacles into opportunities lies in changing your perspective. Instead of viewing difficulties as punishment, see them as tests of nature. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Meditations. This idea encourages us not just to accept challenges, but to leverage them as stepping stones to progress. To apply this principle in real life, try the following methods. Identify the lesson in adversity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Writing down these lessons helps you develop a positive mindset. Practice positive reframing. When facing difficulties, find at least one positive aspect you can leverage. For instance, failing a project could be an opportunity to learn a new skill. Break challenges into smaller parts. When confronting a major obstacle, divide it into smaller, manageable pieces. Tackling each step incrementally gives you a sense of control and reduces stress. The story of John, an athlete who suffered an injury before a crucial competition, serves as a vivid example. Instead of giving up, he used his recovery time to study strategies and techniques. When he returned, he was not only stronger, but also wiser in his approach to the game. How will you choose to perceive challenges? As barriers or as opportunities for growth? Let this lesson inspire you, for it is in challenges that we discover the best version of ourselves. As Epictetus said, "Wherever we are, whatever we face, we always have this power to turn our trials into triumphs." Discourses. Have you ever faced a challenge that turned out to be an opportunity in disguise? Share your experience in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic insights to help you live a calm and resilient life. Lesson 5. Cultivating virtue. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is considered the foundation of a good and peaceful life. The Stoics believed that only by developing virtue can we control our emotions and actions, thereby maintaining calmness amidst life's upheavals. As Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Discourses. His words remind us that cultivating virtue is not easy. It requires persistence and the willingness to endure challenges. Stoic virtue focuses on 4 key qualities: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. These qualities are not just abstract values, but practical tools that help us face challenges with clarity and composure. Consider this real-life example. You're handling a major project at work, and the pressure from colleagues leaves you feeling stressed and irritable. Instead of reacting impulsively, apply wisdom to analyze the situation, courage to face the pressure, temperance to remain calm, and justice to treat your colleagues respectfully. By practicing these virtues, you not only complete the task effectively, but also earn trust and respect from others. How can we cultivate virtue in our daily lives? Reflect on your actions daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I act with wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice today? What can I do better tomorrow? Face small daily challenges. Look for opportunities to practice courage and temperance, such as waiting patiently in a long line without losing your composure. Learn from role models. Observe people you admire for their virtuous qualities and study how they handle difficult situations. Another practical example is the story of Alex, a teacher dealing with a disruptive student in class. Instead of reacting angrily or punishing the student, Alex used wisdom to understand the student's issues, courage to address them openly, and justice to resolve the situation fairly. The result was a positive change in the student's behavior and Alex's continued respect from the class. Are you cultivating virtues in your life? Remember, virtue is not something we are born with. It is something we must practice and refine every day. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Meditations. Let every action you take reflect the admirable person you aspire to be. Lesson 6. Understanding the impermanence of everything. One of the most profound principles of Stoicism is recognizing that everything in life is temporary. Life, emotions, material possessions, and even the challenges we face, all will eventually pass. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how all things are born from change, and change in turn brings about decay." Meditations. This statement reminds us that change is the essence of life, and understanding the impermanence of everything is key to maintaining composure. Imagine losing a job you love or ending a relationship you deeply valued. The sense of loss can overwhelm you with pain and regret. But what if you understood, like a river that keeps flowing, that everything is merely part of the passage of time? Instead of clinging, you would accept it as an inevitable part of life and find ways to adapt. Recognizing impermanence is not pessimism, but a way to appreciate the present moment. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you live more deeply and let go of unnecessary worries. How can you practice this understanding in daily life? Remind yourself regularly, when facing stress or loss, tell yourself, "This too shall pass." This simple phrase has the power to restore your calm. Observe nature. Spend time observing nature. Trees shed their leaves, the sun rises and sets. Nature is the clearest example of life's constant motion. Keep a journal. Write down your experiences and how they've passed. When you look back, you'll realize even your greatest challenges have become part of your past. The story of Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, is a vivid example. In his early career, he was fired from the very company he had created. a failure many would see as insurmountable. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, Jobs recognized that this setback was temporary. He used this time to innovate and develop projects like Pixar and Next. Years later, he returned to Apple and transformed it into one of the most successful companies in the world. Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Stanford commencement speech. His journey highlights how temporary setbacks can lead to great growth. Are you allowing temporary emotions to disrupt your peace of mind? Remember, impermanence is not just a lesson in acceptance, but a reminder to live fully in the present. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Enchiridion. Your response is what defines you. Lesson 7. Gratitude. In Stoic philosophy, gratitude is a core principle that helps individuals maintain calmness and mental balance. Gratitude is not merely a positive emotion, but a way of life that allows us to face difficulties with composure and clarity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you do not have, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." Meditations. This statement encourages us to focus on the present and appreciate what we have, rather than constantly chasing what we lack. Think about a day when you felt frustrated or upset by small inconveniences, traffic jams, overwhelming workloads, or a last-minute change in plans. In those moments, did you pause to reflect on the good things still present in your life? The truth is, when we fail to appreciate what we have, it becomes easy for minor challenges to overshadow our inner peace. Gratitude can be practiced in simple yet impactful ways. Here are some practical methods. Keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. It could be your health, a delicious meal, or even a moment of serenity. This habit helps you focus on the positives in life. Express gratitude through actions. A sincere thank you or a small gesture of appreciation for someone's help can spread positive energy and deepen connections. Reframe adversity. Instead of complaining about difficulties, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset allows you to feel grateful for the lessons life offers. The story of Nick Vujicic, a man born without arms or legs who became a global motivational speaker, is a powerful testament to the strength of gratitude. Instead of lamenting his circumstances, Nick chose to be thankful for what he had: a resilient spirit, the ability to connect with others, and the chance to make a difference in people's lives. Gratitude enabled him to transform his limitations into extraordinary strengths. Can you start practicing gratitude today? Look around and ask yourself, what in my life is a gift I've overlooked? Gratitude not only helps you maintain calmness, but also deepens your connection with yourself and the world around you. As Epictetus wisely said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Discourses. Gratitude is the key to unlocking peace within your soul. Lesson 8. Practicing negative visualization. In Stoic philosophy, negative visualization is a powerful tool to help us maintain calmness and appreciation for life. Instead of avoiding undesirable scenarios, the Stoics encourage us to confront and imagine the worst that could happen. Epictetus once said, "He who is not prepared to face misfortune will be overwhelmed when it strikes." Discourses. By visualizing losses, difficulties, or challenges, we not only prepare ourselves mentally, but also develop a deeper gratitude for what we currently have. Consider this scenario. You have a stable job, a loving family, and good health. But what if you were to lose one of these? Imagining losing your job, a loved one, or even facing a serious health issue can make you realize the value of what you have now and prepare you to face anything that may come. Negative visualization is not about spreading fear, it's about building resilience. As Seneca wrote, "Rehearse death." To say this is to tell a man to rehearse his freedom. A person who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave. Letters to Lucilius. When we become accustomed to the idea of loss, we are no longer enslaved by fear, enabling us to live more freely in the present. To practice this principle, consider these methods. Take quiet moments for reflection. Each morning, spend a few minutes imagining something you fear losing. Then focus on the gratitude you feel for still having it. Keep a negative visualization journal. Write down worst-case scenarios and plans you would take if they occurred. This process makes you feel prepared and less anxious. Ask guiding questions. Ask yourself, if the worst happens, what will I do? Am I strong enough to overcome it? These questions help you build confidence and readiness to face adversity. A real-world example is the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, she faced unemployment, the loss of her family, and poverty. Instead of giving up, she confronted these difficulties and took small steps to rebuild her life. Her ability to visualize and prepare for hardship helped her find the inner strength to persevere. Have you ever tried confronting negative scenarios in your mind? Let this lesson remind you that visualizing the worst doesn't weaken us. It strengthens us and helps us appreciate what we already have. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meditations. Strength comes not from avoidance but from preparation and facing challenges head-on. Stay tuned, because what's coming next could be the most impactful part of this lesson. By focusing your attention, you'll uncover practical insights and actionable steps that can make a real difference in your life. Don't miss this opportunity to deepen your understanding and take another step toward lasting calmness and clarity. Let's dive in together. Lesson 9. Limiting desires. In Stoic philosophy, limiting desires is not merely about renouncing excessive material possessions, but about reclaiming freedom and peace of mind. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Letters to Lucilius. Endless cravings are the root of unrest and suffering, while reducing desires allows us to focus on what truly matters in life. Consider a familiar situation. You've just purchased the latest smartphone, the most advanced model on the market, yet within a few months, a newer, better version is released. Do you find yourself dissatisfied with the phone you were once so excited about? The constant desire for better things can trap us in a cycle of discontent, with no end in sight. The Stoics advise that instead of chasing unnecessary wants, we should appreciate the value of what we already have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Meditations. Happiness doesn't come from having more, but from knowing what is enough. How can we practice limiting desires in daily life? Ask questions before making purchases. When considering buying something, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it improve my life or just offer temporary satisfaction? Practice gratitude for what you have. Make a list of the things you already possess and find joy in them. This helps you realize that what you have is already enough for a good life. Ask questions before making purchases. When considering buying something, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it improve my life or just offer temporary satisfaction? Prioritize experiences over possessions. Instead of accumulating more items, invest in experiences, like a trip or a family gathering. These often provide more lasting value. The story of Diogenes, the renowned philosopher who lived in a barrel, illustrates the freedom that comes from rejecting material desires. When Alexander the Great visited him and asked if he needed anything, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." For him, sunlight was enough to live, and everything else was superfluous. Are you allowing unnecessary desires to cloud your peace of mind? Take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, what do I truly need to live a meaningful life? Limiting desires is not about deprivation, but about finding freedom and cherishing what you already have. As Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Discourses. This is the path to genuine serenity and contentment. Lesson 10. Facing fear. In Stoic philosophy, facing fear is not just about overcoming obstacles, but also about discovering inner strength and living a freer life. Epictetus once said, "Men are not afraid of things, but of how they view them." Discourses. This highlights that fear doesn't arise from the events themselves, but from how we perceive and interpret them. Imagine you're about to give a speech in front of a large audience. Anxiety fills your mind. What if I forget my lines? What will people think of me? But pause and ask yourself, are these fears truly as terrifying as they seem? Marcus Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Meditations. By changing your perspective, you'll see that the speech is not something to fear, but an opportunity to grow. A real-life example is Susan Jeffers, author of Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. She once feared public speaking, but instead of avoiding it, she chose to confront it. She started with small speaking engagements and gradually overcame her fear. Eventually, she became a successful speaker, inspiring millions to do the same. Ask yourself, is there something in your life that you've been postponing because of fear? How might your life change if you confronted it instead of avoiding it? The Stoics suggest several practical methods for facing fear. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Visualize the worst-case scenario and mentally prepare for it. When you face your fear, you'll often find that reality is far less daunting than imagined. Take small steps. If you're afraid of something big, break it down into smaller, manageable actions. Each completed step builds confidence. Breathe and observe your fear. When fear arises, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me? Does it truly control me? Fear is often a shadow larger than reality. Facing it not only helps you overcome challenges, but also reveals strengths you never knew you had. As Seneca wisely said, he who is brave is free. Letters to Lucilius. True freedom comes from not letting fear control you. So, what will you do to face your own fears? The answer will shape the path you walk and the person you become. Lesson 11. Focus on action. In Stoic philosophy, action is the key to solving problems, overcoming adversity, and maintaining calmness. It's not just about thinking or dreaming. Action helps us break free from feelings of helplessness and move closer to our goals. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Discourses. Philosophy shouldn't just be words, it must be demonstrated through action. Imagine you're facing a massive project at work. The pressure is mounting, the to-do list seems endless, and you feel stuck. In moments like these, procrastination or complaining only worsens the situation and amplifies your stress. Instead, ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take right now to start addressing this. Sometimes, completing just one small task is enough to create momentum and help you regain control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meditations. Rather than being consumed by things beyond your control, focus on what you can do right now. For example, if you can't control the weather, carry an umbrella. If you can't change someone else's decision, prepare the best you can for your part. Action is within your power, and focusing on it brings peace of mind. To apply this lesson in daily life, try these methods. Make a prioritized to-do list. Start with small, manageable tasks to build momentum and reduce stress. Break down big problems. If a task feels overwhelming, divide it into smaller, actionable steps. This helps you avoid feeling overloaded and stay focused. Don't wait for perfection. Take action even when conditions aren't perfect. Progress starts with the first step. A real-world example is J.K. Rowling's journey while writing Harry Potter. She didn't have the ideal conditions. She was unemployed, a single mother, and writing in small cafes. Yet instead of waiting for the perfect moment, she started writing with what she had. The result was not only a transformation of her life, but also a revolution in literature. Ask yourself, what am I delaying because of worry or fear? What can I do right now to change my situation? Focusing on action not only propels you forward, but also brings inner peace. As Seneca wisely said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." Letters to Lucilius. Take action, for it is the only path to creating change. Lesson 12. Learning to accept imperfection. Accepting imperfection is the final and core lesson for maintaining calmness, according to Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't demand perfection in everything you do, for who can attain it?" Meditations. Perfection is often an illusion we impose on ourselves, and clinging to it not only exhausts us, but also obscures the value of our current efforts. Consider a relatable situation. You're organizing an important meeting and things don't go as planned. Technology fails, or a team member doesn't deliver on their task. Instead of feeling frustrated and blaming yourself, ask, do these imperfections truly diminish the value of this meeting? Or can I still achieve my main objective? Recognizing that success doesn't require perfection is a significant step toward freeing your mind from unnecessary pressure. Accepting imperfection doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding that our worth isn't determined by flawless execution, but by doing our best within our abilities. Epictetus wisely noted, "If you seek perfection, you may find it in progress, not in the end result." Discourses. What matters is that we try and continue learning from our mistakes. How can you apply this lesson in daily life? Focus on progress, not outcomes. Set goals based on completing small steps rather than an unrealistic final result. Embrace mistakes as part of learning. When errors occur, see them as opportunities for improvement rather than reasons for self-reproach. Practice forgiveness, especially with yourself. Remind yourself that everyone has limitations, and this doesn't diminish your worth. A real-world example is the story of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to accept that each failure held value ultimately led to his success. Have you ever let the fear of imperfection hold you back? How can you shift your focus from the result to the journey? Let this lesson remind you that calmness doesn't come from perfection, but from learning to accept and do your best within your limits. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. but do so with all your heart. Meditations. We've just journeyed through 12 profound lessons from Stoic philosophy, principles designed to help us stay calm, grounded, and resilient in the face of life's unpredictability. From focusing on what you can control, to practicing gratitude, facing fear, and embracing imperfection, these teachings are not just abstract concepts, but practical tools to transform the way we navigate the world. Each lesson holds the potential to bring clarity and strength, guiding us toward a life of greater peace and purpose. Stoicism reminds us that true calmness doesn't come from a life free of challenges, but from the ability to respond to those challenges with wisdom and composure. Life's storms are inevitable, but how we choose to face them is entirely within our power. The 12 lessons we've discussed are more than philosophies. They are blueprints for action, designed to help us cultivate inner strength and live in harmony with ourselves and others. Take a moment to reflect. Which of these lessons resonates most with you? Is it the call to focus only on what's within your control, freeing yourself from unnecessary worry? Or perhaps it's the power of gratitude, teaching us to cherish the present and appreciate what we have. Maybe it's the courage to confront fears or the humility to embrace imperfection. Whichever it may be, each step you take toward practicing these lessons will bring you closer to the calm and confident life you seek. If you found value in these lessons, don't leave without showing your support. Hit the like button. It's a simple way to help others discover this content and benefit from Stoic wisdom. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which lesson impacted you the most? How will you apply it in your life? Spread the knowledge by sharing this video with your loved ones. They may need these insights as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because many more inspiring and transformative lessons are on the way. Thank you for being a part of this journey. May you find strength, peace, and purpose on your own Stoic path.